Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep into a category that, well, it's really kind of revolutionized modern diets. The U.S. ready-to-drink, or RTD, protein shake market.
Hmm.
And if you think this is still just fuel for, hardcore bodybuilders, you haven't looked at a supermarket shelf lately.
Not at all.
This stuff has gone completely mainstream. It's really transformed into the ultimate convenience nutrition. So, our mission today is to cut straight through the noise.
Yeah, let's do it.
We are distilling the core drivers behind this massive market, looking at the surprising shifts in what consumers are actually demanding now,
Which are huge shifts.
and the intense competitive battlegrounds shaping who wins and who, well, loses out. We've synthesized a ton of material to give you the most important nuggets on this rapidly growing segment.
And when we say rapidly growing, I mean, it's foundational growth. This isn't just some niche category anymore.
Right.
RTD shakes have firmly moved from being just a supplement to really engineered nutrition. And it's driven by the absolute necessity of convenience and a much broader awareness of personal health.
Okay, so give us the scale. How big are we talking?
All right, picture this. The U.S. RTD shake market is estimated at about $1.68 billion just for 2024.
Wow.
And here's the crucial part, that little bottle. It's now the core growth engine for the total U.S. protein supplement market, which itself is valued at nearly $9.88 billion.
Almost $10 billion total. Okay.
And the growth for RTDs,
Yeah.
projected at a robust CAGR, that's compound annual growth rate, somewhere between 7.5% and 8.5% over the next decade.
So when a market that big is growing that fast,
Exactly. Something fundamental has shifted in how people are eating and living.
those numbers definitely confirm it's not a fad, it's a lifestyle adjustment. So what are the big, macro pressures pushing this growth engine? You mentioned three.
Yeah, three main ones, and they really all converge on convenience, like you said. The first one is the undeniable mainstreaming of health and wellness. It's everywhere now.
True.
With increased awareness of lifestyle diseases, obesity, diabetes, people are trying to be more proactive about managing their nutrition, and they need accessible tools. An RTD shake, it's seen as a really easy daily health management tool.
Makes sense. And the second pressure, you touched on it, just the raw necessity of convenience.
Absolutely critical.
We're all busy, right? If you can drink your recovery or even a meal replacement without mixing powder, dirtying a blender.
Zero prep.
No cleanup.
Yeah.
That product just wins on friction alone. It slots perfectly into that modern grab-and-go lifestyle.
Couldn't agree more.
And finally, the third driver.
That massive fitness culture, boom, I mean, it's exploded.
Yeah.
We're talking about a U.S. fitness market with, get this, a membership base estimated around 77 million people as of 2024.
77 million, that's huge.
It's staggering. And that massive number of gym goers, they directly fuel a huge demand for accessible recovery and performance products, which is exactly what RTD shakes deliver, right after a workout. Easy grab.
Okay, so those macro trends get people interested. They get them to the shelf.
Right.
But once they're standing there looking at the options, what they prioritize, you're saying that's shifting dramatically beyond just how many grams of protein.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting, because these consumer preferences, they're forcing brands to make some pretty painful, expensive decisions.
Okay, like what?
Well, the first major demand is what we're calling the clean label mandate. Transparency is now, non-negotiable. Our sources show a staggering 81% of consumers view clean ingredients and label transparency as critical.
81%, that's basically everyone.
Pretty much. And this isn't just about reading the label. It's about demanding brands get rid of the artificial stuff. Artificial flavors, sweeteners, colors.
And getting rid of that stuff, that's expensive, right? You can't just flip a switch, especially for a big company.
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. And costly. Reformulating at scale while trying to maintain taste, shelf stability. It's nightmare. Look at PepsiCo's Muscle Milk. They explicitly announced they're removing all artificial additives by 2026.
Wow. That's a big commitment.
It's a massive operational promise. And it just shows you how critical this clean label demand is to, frankly, just staying relevant. You have brands like Nestlé's Orgain, of course, who built their entire identity around this organic, clean label focus from day one.
So they have an advantage now.
A huge advantage in trust, yeah.
Okay, so labels need to be clean, transparent. What about the actual source of the protein? Are we seeing that big switch to non-animal sources everyone talks about?
That's the plant-based revolution. It's definitely happening. It's driven by a mix of things: environmental concerns, animal welfare, health factors like lactose intolerance. The U.S. market for plant-based foods grew over 41%. And specifically for supplements, the North American plant-based segment projected to grow at a rapid 9.6% CAGR.
Almost 10% growth. So yeah, it's undeniably the single fastest growing segment in this space.
Correct. But,
Yeah.
and this is important, the really advanced trend we need to watch closely is what's being called protein plus.
Protein plus, meaning...
Meaning the shift from just competing on quantity, who has more grams of protein, to competing on functional benefits. Quality over just quantity.
Ah, okay.
Consumers expect added value now. They're looking for specific ingredients tailored to optimization, things like prebiotics and fiber for gut health.
Okay.
Or nootropics for cognitive function, maybe adaptogens for stress management.
Hold on. Are consumers really asking for nootropics in their post-workout shake? Or is this more like brands trying to justify a higher price by, inventing demand for complex ingredients?
Well, it's probably a bit of both. But mostly, it's the market leaders setting the new expectation. Think about it. If Premier Protein just offers 30 grams of whey, right? But then a competitor offers 30 grams of whey plus a scientifically validated blend for stress reduction.
Then the second one seems like better value.
Increasingly, yes. The consumer sees that second option as superior value, even if it costs a bit more. And we see this innovation everywhere now. Propel Clear Protein combines electrolytes and fiber. Starbucks Coffee Plus Protein adds prebiotic fiber and vitamins.
So functional blending is becoming the new standard.
It's rapidly becoming the default setting, exactly.
That's fascinating. Okay, but let's circle back. If we follow the money, the fastest growth is plant-based.
Yes.
But our sources highlight this massive dilemma, what the industry is calling the plant-based paradox. What's that about?
This is a really significant challenge for the segment.
Yeah.
And potentially a trust breaker if not handled carefully. While consumers are choosing plant-based products for, perceived health benefit.
Right, because it's plants, healthier.
There are actually serious underlying health concerns around contamination, specifically heavy metals.
Heavy metals, seriously.
Yes. Consumer Reports did testing, found elevated lead levels exceeding expert safety guidelines in over 2/3 of the protein supplements they tested.
2/3? That's alarming.
It is. And crucially, this issue was particularly prevalent in plant-based products, especially those using pea protein.
Wait a minute, that sounds like a ticking time bomb for the whole plant-based sector. People are buying this stuff to be healthier, and they might be unknowingly ingesting contaminants.
That's the paradox, exactly. The core value proposition, health, cleanliness, is threatened by sourcing and manufacturing challenges that are kind of unique to plants grown in certain soils or conditions.
So what's the play then for the brands?
Well, this is where the strategic opportunity lies, ironically. The crisis creates a kind of clean slate opportunity. Brands that invest heavily, and I mean heavily, in rigorous sourcing, third-party testing, total transparency. Think Nestlé's Orgain with their obsessive focus on organic supply chains.
They can build trust.
They can build deep consumer trust. And frankly, they can justify a premium price because they're selling safety right alongside the nutrition.
That paradox really does change the strategic game. Okay, but before we just assume plant-based takes over everything, we have to look at the existing power structure, right? The dominance of the original players.
Absolutely.
Let's look at that competitive breakdown. Animal versus plant protein types.
Right. So, despite all the momentum from the plant-based challengers, let's be clear. Animal protein, mainly whey and casein, still firmly dominates this market. We're talking about 70% market share.
70%, still the lion's share.
Easily. Whey protein alone accounts for a staggering 61.38% of the RTD market. For decades, it's been seen as the gold standard, right? Because of its bioavailability, muscle synthesis properties. Consumers trust it, especially performance-focused buyers.
So whey is still king, but the plant-based challenger is definitely eating away at the edges.
Without a doubt. Plant-based is the fastest-growing segment, projected at that strong 9.6% CAGR in North America. It confirms it's rapidly gaining ground. It's becoming a non-negotiable segment for any major retailer or brand to carry.
Okay, so to really understand the fight, you're saying we need to break down the market differently, not just plant versus animal.
Exactly. You need to see the U.S. RTD shake market not as just one big blob, but as three distinct competitive groups, or tiers. Each one has a different strategic focus.
All right, lay it out for us. Tier 1.
At the very top, you have the undisputed market leader, Premier Protein. They're owned by Bellring Brands. They dominate with roughly 25% market share. Huge.
1/4 of the entire market. Wow.
Yeah, and their core strategy right now is all about maximizing household penetration.
Yeah.
Basically, getting their product into the pantries of as many U.S. homes as possible, currently at 21.6%.
Okay. And their next challenge.
Increasing their share of shelf, becoming the absolute default choice in every single store. More facings, better placement. Got it. Okay, let's shift down a level. The giants fighting for second place, the scale challengers. What's the big story there?
Sounds like Fairlife Core Power, owned by Coca-Cola, is a major player, but facing issues.
Oh, Fairlife is the classic, almost textbook example of success overwhelming your infrastructure.
Too much demand.
Way too much. They're a hyper-growth brand, right? Famous for their ultra-filtered, lactose-free milk tech. Great product. But what's fascinating is their astronomical sales growth led directly to a severe capacity crunch. Meaning they literally could not produce enough product to meet the demand for years.
Yeah.
Created a massive supply bottleneck.
Wow. That's a powerful lesson right there. You can have the best marketing, the best product.
But if you can't make it and ship it, you lose sales, you lose shelf space, you lose momentum. It's brutal.
Yeah, they're trying to fix that.
They are. That bottleneck won't really ease until their huge new $650 million production facility opens, which is slated for late 2025.
So supply chain resilience is key.
Paramount. Meanwhile, you've got PepsiCo executing a really major strategic overhaul for Muscle Milk and their other protein brands, aiming for 2026.
What's their move?
They're integrating these protein products into the wider Gatorade ecosystem. The idea is to cover the entire athlete journey: hydration, energy, protein recovery, all under one sort of multifunctional brand umbrella.
Interesting. And we can't forget Ensure, right? Abbott Labs, they come at it differently.
Totally different angle. Ensure leverages decades of trust built up in the adult and clinical nutrition space.
Right, that medical heritage.
Exactly. Plus, they have incredibly strong distribution through pharmacy channels, so they compete very effectively with high-protein versions like Ensure Max Protein, appealing more to maybe an older or more generally health-conscious demographic that values that clinical trust.
Okay, leader challengers. What's the third group?
The third tier is the niche innovators. This is where a lot of the really interesting product differentiation happens.
Driving new trends.
Precisely. We've already talked about Nestlé's Orgain, leading that organic clean label segment. They have an aggressive pipeline focusing on health-sensitive consumers. Then there's Quest Nutrition, owned by Simply Good Foods. They're the classic disruptor, heavily focused on high protein, but also really big on flavor innovation, making it taste good.
Like a treat, almost.
Exactly. They recently launched a 45-gram protein milkshake, 45 grams, and they explicitly talked about sparking a snack revolution, combining that elite protein quantity with tastes that feel indulgent, like dessert.
Okay, that covers the players. And just quickly, distribution. How are people actually buying this stuff? Still mostly in stores?
For now, yes. Offline stores, supermarkets, hypermarkets, club stores, they still hold the majority.
Yeah.
About 53.65% of sales.
But
E-commerce is by far the fastest growing channel, projected at a 10.15% CAGR.
over 10% growth online.
Yeah, which just confirms that an effective omnichannel strategy being strong both online and offline, it's absolutely mandatory for survival now. You have to be everywhere your customer is.
Makes sense. Okay, looking forward then. Where's the next wave of growth coming from? What are the untapped opportunities, the white space?
Yeah, there are several clear areas where the competition is still relatively light, ripe for innovation. First, much better demographic targeting. Market really hasn't fully met the unique nutritional needs of several key groups yet.
Like who?
Well, think about products specifically tailored for seniors, focusing maybe on muscle maintenance or bone health, or for women, addressing specific hormonal or life stage nutritional requirements, or even the huge youth sports market. Their needs are different from adult athletes.
Right, not just a smaller dose of the adult stuff.
Exactly. And then, please, can we move beyond chocolate and vanilla? There is massive room for flavor innovation.
Thank you.
Our sources point to a major shift coming. More complex, almost culinary-inspired tastes. Things like pear and apple together, or watermelon and mint. Apparently, that's in the PepsiCo pipeline.
Interesting combinations.
Yeah, and also the strategic use of seasonal releases, like Premier Protein doing pumpkin spice in the fall.
Yeah.
It creates buzz, urgency.
Limited time only, gets people buying.
You got it. And that protein plus trend, it's only going to deepen. Integrating scientifically validated ingredients for things like cognitive health, stress reduction, deeper immune support, that's going to stop being a premium extra.
It'll become the standard expectation.
It'll become the expected default, I think. And finally, sustainability. Huge opportunity. Brands can gain a significant competitive edge through real sustainability efforts, specifically adopting recyclable or even plant-based packaging. That appeals directly to the environmentally conscious consumer, which is a growing group.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening right now, whether you're a consumer or maybe watching this market? It seems the future of the RTD protein shake isn't just about how much protein is in the bottle anymore,
Not at all.
but really what else is in it. And critically, how transparent and trustworthy is the sourcing behind it all? That trust seems like the new currency here.
Absolutely spot on. The future winner in this hyper-competitive category, they're going to need two things above all else. First, supply chain resilience. They need to learn the very tough lesson from Fairlife's capacity crunch. You have to build the capacity before the demand fully hits.
Plan ahead.
Way ahead. And second, authentic storytelling that is backed by real scientific validation of any functional claims they make. You can't just sprinkle in some ashwagandha and call it stress relief.
You need proof.
You need proof. Without both resilience and validated authenticity, growth is going to stall out very quickly.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to maybe mull over. The rapid, really complex evolution of this RTD shake market. It kind of forces us to reconsider our whole definition of health food, doesn't it?
It really does.
If the fastest growing health trend, plant-based nutrition, carries this hidden risk, this heavy metal issue that demands super rigorous testing, well, how deeply should you scrutinize the sourcing and the testing protocols of all the convenient foods in your life, not just the protein shakes?
That's the question, isn't it?
That fundamental question of trust, it seems like something we all have to answer now.